Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. Today, we're talking about the first two episodes of the new Apple TV sci-fi series Plur1bus. The episode's entitled, We Is Us and Pirate Lady. This show is helmed by Vince Gilligan of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fame. And our protagonist, Carol, is being played by Rhea Seehorn, one of the stars of Better Call Saul.
Correct.
We open with a countdown clock showing us we're 439 days away from some obviously pivotal event. Scientists are meeting at a galactic observation facility in rural Albuquerque. Throwback to Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. Though Vince Gilligan has said that it is not in the same universe, not a shared universe type of thing. The scientists have discovered a non-natural repeating signal emanating from 600 light years away. One of the scientists realizes it's a code for an RNA sequence, and they set about to create this substance in a lab. Hijinks ensue. We end with Carol as one of only 13 people in the world unaffected by the virus that was unwittingly unleashed by our scientists, which causes everyone else to be creepily blissful Borg hive mind folks. She called a meeting with some of the other unaffected people, but she is seemingly the only person determined to thwart this virus. One of the other unaffected, Kumba, asks permission to take Zoja to Las Vegas for some debauchery. Zoja is the woman designated by the hive mind as a stand-in for Carol's now deceased love interest. Carol at first agrees, then changes her mind, runs out onto the tarmac to keep Kumba's plane, Air Force One, from taking off. By all that said, Paul!
Matt?
What'd you think of the first two episodes of Plur1bus?
I enjoyed them. I like the tone. I like the characters. The premise is interesting. Yeah, we can get into that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. How about you?
I like it very much as well. As you say, I like the premise. It reminds me in some ways of course it's early days, right? We've only seen 2 episodes, so we don't know exactly where this is going. But
correct.
It reminded me of the themes from The Leftovers. Which we covered on Dork Lords back in the day. Yes. But the premise there was an unknown phenomenon suddenly made 2% of the world's population disappear.
Yes.
And that show, seemingly similar to this one, with 2 episodes in, was less interested in explaining the cause and more interested in explaining the effect on humanity.
Sure.
And I kind of feel like that's where this is heading to. We got this thing. Okay, there was a signal, and everyone but 13 people are turned into zombies, essentially. But how do those 13 people, Carol in particular, exist in this world?
That's funny. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, or at least in a few ways, they took some of the stakes off the table. Like, we're not trying to hurt you.
Right.
You can live your own life.
Yeah. No, you're right. The situation is set up, I think, specifically as to make it into a little experiment on humanity. Because they easily could have just made everybody crazy and kill each other. If they just wanted dominate the people. If there's an aliens that are we just want to screw over Earth, they could easily have just made everyone kill each other or drop dead. The virus is lethal. Okay, everybody's dead.
Yeah,
but
one of the movies that Carol refers to indirectly, of course, Pod People, is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where they're actively trying to they don't care about who they hurt or whatever, and so these are not like that. These turned affected humans, right? Because they make clear that this is not an alien invasion as such. At least not an invasion by aliens as much as their technology.
Right. But it is interesting, so we know that the signal is alien tech. I mean, yes. I guess it could be a plot twist, but it seems pretty obvious at this point it's alien tech. We know that almost 1 billion people died when the virus altered their brain chemistry. 886 million people or something like that. So the virus kills about 12% of the people that it contacts. We know.
Well, we don't know to what extent is some people just living their lives when they're suddenly taken over, and that causes them to die less than the actual, because I was thinking about it, and Helen, maybe she just, she banged her head pretty soundly.
Oh, I see what you mean. In other words, I was driving a car, and then my mind went blank, and I crashed. I went off a cliff, and so I died.
Yeah.
So technically, the process didn't kill you, but yeah, I got you. You're dead just the same. But yeah, okay. Good point. Good point. But we know that the aliens who designed the tech, as you say, have their own warped way of being nonviolent. They don't simply kill Carol. They stop the practice of killing animals for food. We know that the virus is apparently very susceptible to negative emotions. Carol has 2 outbursts and apparently kills millions of people in doing so.
Yes.
And so it seems like the mechanics of it seem to be that the virus can't control billions of people who are agitated. It seems like it makes people shut down and reboot. Even the people, so millions of people died, but it seemed like just about everybody shut down when Carol went nuts, right? They have to kind of do like a reboot period or something. And it's that process of rebooting that apparently can kill people.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know the exact process. So, it may be that they just react to the emotion. I guess I think of reboot in a specific way, and generically they certainly start over. So
I'm just wondering if there's like a perfect level of anger or sadness or some negative emotion that you could introduce to the hive mind that would remove the virus,
right?
Reboot without killing them.
We don't know if it's possible for them ultimately to become used to it. It's like, Carol's just getting mad again.
Right, right. But it is an interesting. I mean, it's a great hook because in some ways, so Carol is incredibly powerful in this world.
Right.
She could kill hundreds of millions of people if she wanted.
Right.
They don't seem to be there. There seems to be no threshold at which they'd say, "Fine, we're going to kill you." It seems like that's off the table. So if she wants to go crazy and just go rah, 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 she could do that. Obviously, she has a sense of moral code that means I'm not going to just wipe out all these beings. But so it's interesting.
We haven't. Well, their thing is not in their nature. We don't know exactly to what extent that could change. It's probably not, but we don't know if they're capable of saying like, okay, I can't kill Carol, but maybe they could. Who's to say they couldn't say, oh, why don't you kill Carol for us?
Yeah, or like confine her in some way, or. But it seems. Right. What's interesting to me, though, is that you're right that they say specifically this is not an alien invasion. No aliens involved.
Yes.
However, like what is in the brain? What memories, what thoughts are in the brain of all of these people in the hive mind? We know that each person has the memories of all humanity, essentially.
Right.
Or okay, so there's that. But there's also this calm, nonviolent, vegetarian ethos that they all share, which obviously all of humanity does not share, and there's a lot of humanity that isn't calm. If you just without any extraneous influences, if you just right now pushed a button and all people were connected with a hive mind, you'd have some violent impulses for sure, right? I mean, surely it wouldn't just be like, yeah, and we're all fine. So I feel like even though we're all connected, there's like they're governed by some emotional rules that the alien tech designers have created somehow, or I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no. This is we're in a position where we have to extrapolate. Exactly. Trying to figure out exactly because I would suggest it's I feel as if it's similar to perhaps to the how it was expressed in The Last of Us, where I think they used an example of a parasite that took over a host or whatever, And so we don't know the extent to which, because Carol is less curious about the phenomena than other people who are unaffected. We
Correct,
don't know.
which is also another great. I mean, I assume that they're going to play that up big time with these people. This very select group of people all have their own interests, and a lot of them are like, fine,
Yes.
So yeah, I like that
right.
too.
So we don't know if like combination of all knowledge, so that would defeat any paranoia that you might have. There may be some euphoria that's connected to the feeling of being connected to that many people. I mean, what they're definitely setting up is sort of a unipersonality or a uber personality.
Yep.
Where everybody sort of enacts in the same way. And the thing that I thought about is a potential storyline. Carol's trying to disrupt or introduce, the concept back to them of separation in some way, convincing them, okay, well, is it possible for you to cut yourself off from that feeling, or is it possible to have periods of time when it's like, we need to do a lot, and so we're going to be connected, and then now that we finished whatever task we wanted to do, we can disconnect. I mean, because obviously, there are many experiences that because they're connected that way that they can't have, and so I don't know if it's especially since we're going to see Zoja again, that we don't know. And you said replace, and I don't know if that's necessarily what the agenda or purpose was. I mean, they did say they wanted Carol to like her, but I don't necessarily know it's with the intent to have her be Helen's replacement as much as...
Okay, good. Maybe that's an overstatement.
Yeah, just to sort of like be someone who's helping her so that they can ultimately figure out how to, infect her.
I got you. But I also then feel like whatever the purpose was, I do feel like Carol, judging by that last action she takes, she does have some sense of a feeling for the Helen that is inside Zoja.
That's an interesting theory. I mean, I kind of wasn't sure if it was more like, I can't let someone go into that world when she was leaving it up to me. Not into that world, but I mean under that guy's influence. Right.
I mean, and but there's also that thought of everything is being done under duress, even from the standpoint of the aliens or the hive mind. So they're like, oh, we can't upset either Carol or Kumba. So we can't jump in and say, you can't do that, because they don't want to make somebody angry and then kill a bunch of their hive. So in some ways, what it's saying is Zoja has no authority at all in this choice. So it's like, hi, Zoja, yes, you will have to go and have sex with Kumba in Las Vegas. And so I feel like that's where she's drawing this line, where Carol is drawing this line of like, look, I can't just make this person have to go have sex with this guy at the expense of not making me angry. Anyway, so I think but still, there's a sense of caring about this person's well-being, and so I do feel like there's
but perhaps attachment. Not so much, I mean, yes, maybe not so much personally selected to her, since she couldn't be bothered to learn her name.
Pirate lady. Because
she recognizes she has all this power that she's not used to having, and her methods of coping with that are also causing damage. That she still has a responsibility. She still wants to try to do good.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I do find it fascinating to see the hive mind at work. So we see Zoja. She's on the other side of the world, essentially, another continent. And they have no need to talk to each other.
Nope.
Because they can read each other's minds. And so
Yep.
Zoja innately knows how to fly this giant cargo plane,
Yep.
silently flies it to Albuquerque, where she silently is greeted by helpers who know just what to do. And
Right.
she ultimately ends up at Carol's house with this bottle of water, but it's all just like, in that world, they the only reason to talk is to talk to one of the 13, essentially. And so anyway, it's creepy. I mean, this thing has darkly comic scenes, but it is dark.
Yes.
Accent on dark.
Yes.
Like, woo!
Yes.
Those scenes of Carol trying to navigate humanity, humanity's being wiped out in real time, and she's just trying in vain to save Helen's life. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It was dark. I guess it differs in a way. I was thinking of like shows that we've covered. So we covered Leftovers, and I do feel like there's a similarity there with like not the cause but the after effect. There was a show that we did a little more recently, has a similar theme, but it was more about the cause, and that was Three Body Problem. So in that situation, the alien tech is being used to undermine human civilization, but it seemed really interested in the cause and thwarting the cause. It had some similar themes, but maybe it was a little more interested in kind of the hows as opposed to the whys, maybe. Now, something I'll throw out there that I don't think is true, and if it is, it would be terrible.
Oh, okay.
But they threw out this thing, and I'm like, come on now, surely that's not where this is headed. But just note for later, somehow this might tie in some way. Carol, she is she writes like romantic fantasy, romantasy books.
Yes.
And she said mindless crap is what she calls it.
Yes.
So she's not even happy about it. She's like, fine.
Right.
Okay, I'll do this tour, I'll make the money, but I don't really like what I'm doing.
Right.
But she mentions to Helen, like, oh, you working on that serious book? Mm-hmm. And she's like, it's going to take me a few months to finish. The book is called Bitter Chrysalis. Mm-hmm. There's a lesser show where this would all be in her head. And I'm just saying that's not where this is going. But like, oh, you see, this is all like, this is the subject of her serious book. The world's taken over by an alien race, and I'm the only one who can combat it. And everyone, I feel like everyone's against me, and I'm the only right-thinking person. Anyway, so just saying, there's a reason they threw that out there. I don't think that's the reason. Well, maybe it's headed in a direction where she drops her whatever idea this Bitter Chrysalis was, and she just starts writing her story now. And look, I'm in this really terrible situation. And then, in order to keep her happy, they all buy her book because they're like, okay, fine. She starts selling this book of her experiences. Maybe she's trying to get the word out about what it's like to live amongst these terrible people. I don't know where that's going.
That's a strange. That's a strange twist. Strange.
That would be a
I think
twist.
you say you didn't like it.
No, I like that. That's actually better than the "it's all in her head." I just don't want the "it's all in her head."
That sucks. But her producing books for people in a hive mind, I think.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of metaphorical stuff happening here. It's not an allegory. It's not like she stands for this,
right?
But there's AI is obviously something that perhaps might be this hive mind might represent. Obviously, the idea of free will. There's these some of our 13 are like, look, why is it so bad? Hey, the world's not violent. Everybody seems generally happy, but you don't have free will, and you don't have your own personality anymore. You don't, there's so many things that are wrong about it.
Vince Gilligan, the creator of the show, I think he really wanted people to take a minute to think like, is this so bad?
Right, right.
Yes, it is. Question answered. I mean, Carol's point about a person selling the drugs.
Selling the drugs. Yeah,
is not to be trusted.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a terrible, terrible nightmare type scenario, and being played up as look, everyone's happy. Oh yeah, we killed 1 billion people to get here too, by the way, but it's fine. I did like. I mean, there are, as I mentioned, darkly comic, but there are some comedic bits in it for sure.
Yes.
But the one line that I thought was pretty awesome was, so she being Carol
Yes.
Everything's gone to hell. She gets to her house. She seals herself in her house. TV's on. They're like,
Yes.
hey, Carol, call this number. I'm sure you have some questions.
Yes.
And so she's talking to the TV. There's a guy there who's a government agent. It turns out he's the undersecretary of agriculture.
Yeah.
And so he's described like, who are you? How do you and he's like, most of the people were dead around, but this undersecretary of agriculture, Davis Taffler, happened to be nearby, intact, and wearing a suit. That was the thing. Like, that line was pretty awesome. It was just like, there was a guy who was just lying there, and he had a suit on, so that's me. Hey! So I was like, tip your hat. Well done. I like the line. A weird thought I had. You have been joined. You're one of the billions of people who are now hive-minded.
Yes.
You, at the time you were hive-minded, you were pregnant.
Yes.
If you give birth,
yes,
is it like obviously you're saliva, whatever. You're probably the newborn will probably be hive-minded. Would the newborn survive that process? Is that a thing where like can this hive mind reproduce? I guess is maybe the best.
Sure. Yes, no reason why not. But yeah, we don't know.
And I did see an interesting little factoid on the wiki page. So currently, if you want to go to the wiki page, there are only 3 characters listed as the main cast for the show. And that's Carol, Zoja, and then a character named Manusos.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think we've seen this person.
No,
supposedly, he's one of the 13 unaffected people. So if I had to guess, he's one of the non-English speaking ones.
Sure, of course.
Specifically, like, get the ones who speak English.
Right.
So, since he wasn't in the first 2 episodes, and he's listed as someone that's in the main cast, he thinks we will see him and his circumstance in episode 3. I'm just going to throw that out there. Bring on Manusos.
Certainly more likely we'll see a flashback for someone like him.
I did find it interesting, too, that when Carol brings these people together, a lot of them have families.
Right.
Whereas she doesn't.
Yes.
And so they're like, well, I don't want to rock the boat here. My family is under this effect, and there's a whole different set of desires and considerations when you've got a kid or your mom or whatever. So that was an interesting little thing too of like, okay,
sure,
everybody has their own set of priorities.
It'll be interesting to see how the story plays out and how much story will be devoted to her trying to foil it, and presumably if she gets close, she will have an effect other than just a paralyzing effect. But again, I'm curious to how much they're gonna actually explore.
Right.
It seems like a bullshit thing to say, like, oh, is this really a good thing? Yes. Okay, why are you saying that? Like, just to to improve the motivation of the people who literally went to do it. Shouldn't you just be trying to think about how to play this realistically? It can, but beyond the crazy premise.
And if this was like a movie, and so it was only like 2 hours long or so,
sure,
then it would probably be like I'm going to fight this and we'll either succeed or not succeed. But since this is a series, I kind of feel like we're going to spend some time, like fighting it is one thing, but we're going to see her just existing day to day in this reality.
We might.
We'll
probably, certainly they would do it in flashback. I don't know if it, they already established too that you can do the effect on the kids, even though you would want them to still have a childhood and not have them robbed away.
She points out that the one unaffected woman's kid is also as a gynecologist.
Yes.
And you all these. You're not a kid. You're not a kid. You are 7 billion minds in the body of a child.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever that means. So Anyway, so there's a lot to it.
Yes.
They kind of put this world out. It's certainly a high concept sci-fi premise.
Yeah.
And the actress Rhea Seehorn is doing a great job as Carol.
Yeah.
She has such heavy lifting to do.
Yeah.
She's doing it. So
yeah.
Good on it. I'm looking forward to episode 3.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, we'll be back talking about episode 3 of Plur1bus. If you out there are watching the show, let us know what you think of the show and where you think perhaps this concept is headed. So thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time.
Bye.
Bye.